Let's solve the equation z squared minus 100 equals 0. Okay, so this is a special case for a quadratic equation. We have a variable term and we have a constant term. We're missing that middle term, right? That term that has just a variable without, that variable to the first power, right? We're missing that one. So there's actually two very good strategies for solving this type of equation. So what I'm going to do is split this up and do it both ways. So z squared minus 100, the typical way where we factor it, we would have to recognize that this is difference of squares, something squared minus something squared equals 0. In this case, it's z squared and 10 squared. Okay, and so if you recall, this will factor to be z plus 10, z minus 10, right? Difference of squares. Now we can use the zero product property. Z plus 10 equals 0. Z minus 10 equals 0. And then solve each of these individually. I'll subtract 10 from both sides. That will give me negative 10. If I add 10 to both sides on the second one here, that will give me positive 10. So negative 10 and positive 10 are my solutions. Okay, that's using factoring. Okay, now if I wanted to use the square root property, I would need to get z squared by itself. Okay, so I'm going to work it out like that as well. Okay, to use the square root property, maybe I'll label these. This is factoring so that you can use the zero product property. This is going to be the square root property. Now, get the z squared by itself. I'm going to add 100 to both sides. Z squared equals 100. Now remember, the square root property says that if you have something squared equals something else, like this number 100 right here, then the thing that's being squared is equal to positive square root of that number and negative square root of that number. So square root of 100 is 10, and the square root of 100 is 10, so we have negative 10. So there we are again with our two solutions. Sometimes we would write that as plus or minus 10, by the way. Okay, so either method works fine here. In both cases, you get positive and negative 10.